What are 4 essential parts of every consulting interview? Hi everyone, my name is Johannes and welcome to Mastering Consulting. On this channel I will share my own learnings and experiences from my own current journey in management consulting to help you to become more successful in consulting and also living a balanced life. If you're new to this channel, then please make sure to subscribe to it and leave a thumb up. This will help you to miss not any new video. And today we will talk about 4 essential parts of every consulting interview. And if you want to get into consulting, then you probably heard about consulting interviews and that they are kind of special. And people ask me all the time, Johannes, why are consulting interviews and all those case studies and Brainteasers and so on, why is this even existing? And the reason for that is very simple and can be explained if you take a look at other companies. If we talk about Apple, for example, this is a huge and very successful company. And if I ask you, okay, why is Apple successful? You will probably say, yeah, they have a pretty good branding, so all the marketing, but also on the other hand, they have a very good products like the iPhone, like iTunes, like the MacBook. So those are products who really change how we think about technology and how we use technology. And the reasons why they were so successful in producing great products was that they invested a lot of time and a lot of resources, a lot of money into the product development. And now if we think about what the product is of consulting firms, you quickly get to the point that the actual product of a consulting firm is the project team that they sell in order to solve the business problem. And this means that what product development is for Apple is recruiting, or at least partly is recruiting for consulting firms, because in order to be a successful consulting firm, you need to have a great product, and this means that you need to have great people on board who are awesome problem solvers. And that's the reason why the consulting firms put so much effort, so much time, so much resources into selecting the right people to hire as consultants in their firms. And people ask all the time, okay, how can I prepare for those interviews and what do I have to do to prepare myself and what are the main elements? So today I want to talk about the 4 most important elements of every consulting interview that you should be aware of. Let's start with the first one, and the first one is that you often see online assessment. And this is something that you see particularly often in strategy consulting, like McKinsey, BCG, Bain. Those companies typically or sometimes do online assessments, and they do that in order to test your problem-solving ability, your analytical skills, and your personality types. I think the most common and most famous example is probably McKinsey PST, but there are other models coming up because PSD is at least what I hear, kind of outdated. So they come up with new tests like Imbellus, BCG, for example, they use Pymetrics. And those are just online tests that you take as an applicant in order to test your ability to solve problems and to work in an analytical way. Then the second aspect that is very important in consulting interviews are the personal fit interviews. And those are interviews to get to know you on a personal level. And there are typically, several options. You can either do that with the HR department, you can do that with the consultants. This is the case in most of the times. And at the end, very often you also have interviews with partners. Then the next step, the third essential part of every consulting interview are Brainteasers. And this typically are small exercises, small tests that test your problem-solving ability and to kind of, how you react to uncommon and uncomfortable situations. And those can be small calculations that you have to do. This can be brainstorming sessions, creativity tasks, or small riddles or puzzles that you have to solve in the interview. And last but not least, we have the fourth aspect, and those are the case studies. And this is probably something everyone talks about What this is at the end a simulation of real business problems that test your ability and your performance on projects. And what you usually have is that you do one-on-one cases. This is the most common type of cases, where you sit in front of a consultant and solve the case, and the consultant gives you some hints and kind of evaluates your performance. You also have group cases where you work together with an entire group of applicants, and there are also collaborative cases where you work together with a consultant on the case. So these are different types. The big question is always what do they actually want to test and why are they doing that? Well, what they want to do at the end is that they want to check, okay, how does this person perform on a project? So that's why they really focus on your skills of structuring problems, analyzing problems, and communicating the solution. And they want to understand if you fit to the firm and if you have what it takes in order to work in consulting. So they want to understand your personal motivation. They want to understand about your personality. They want to know if you fit into the industry, and also if this is a cultural fit between you and the firm. I have to say that those 4 elements that I introduced to you are, the 4 broad categories. You have to realize that every interview process for every consultancy is highly individual. So what you will see is that across the different sectors, across the different firms, there are different interview processes. Also, even within a firm, across different countries, there also might be differences in the application process, because every region has their own boundaries within they can adjust the recruitment process. And also even across the time. So be aware that consultancies are constantly improving and changing the application process. So this means before you apply, do the own research, make sure that you are up to date about what the process looks like, because you want to be prepared for what's coming. You really want to understand how you can prepare for those interviews. But although the process is individual for every firm and even within countries, and also changes over times, those 4 main aspects, the online assessment, the personal interview, the brain teasers, and the case studies, are more or less always the same. And those are things that you really can prepare for, and this is the first step towards a great interview preparation. So with that being said, of course, I want to know how you prepare for your consulting career, for your interviews. So leave it down in the comments below. And if this brought value to you, then please subscribe to this channel, leave a thumb up. And with that being said, I wish you a very successful day. Hope to talk to you soon. Goodbye, Johannes.